Hello. Yes, there is a preferred frequency, but it's not what you expect. It's actually what you are obsessed with. And the more tailored it is to what you're doing, the more it's going to help you out. So, I'm going to first talk about why people think they need to have specific things. And then I'm going to talk about what I meant by what I said in the beginning. So at the moment, what we have in spirituality is organized religions and different ways of looking into spiritual things, but still from those concepts of something where you have to look outside yourself as a tool to find out the meaning of life and things like that. That is what we have on offer. I have been seeing people a little bit going away from that, but my energy is basically I'm here for this specifically. So to not only my energies to do things that human me is not doing, but also human me translating that. So the way that the obstacles and the things that I've lived my life with happen so that I could help people with specific tools, specifically like people pleasing and also, like I said, not having a voice, those kind of things. I went through those kind of things so that my tools would be, better as a human. So I could do the human stuff and then my energy could do the energy stuff. That is like the big movements and things like that. So anyway, I said that really quick because I don't think people understand that they are the ones that are going to be able to get the best results. And this is why. It's because people do hierarchies. When people give themselves a title, like let's say, for example, it's a title that tells you that you are gifted or that you have a reputable blah, blah, blah. If the person is doing that because of, so let's say they're working on something, like let's say they say they're psychic, it means they think they were born like this and that it's not something that they maybe because of their life, like I said, like the difference between me and someone else, the fact that I went through the people pleasing things, then I healed the people pleasing things, and I learned all these things. It's the same thing as someone who says they're a psychic. So people who start getting into that mixed with science, they start looking into measurements. Science and finite is about measurements, and that's helpful for that. That's helpful for us rearranging the external, like self-care, scientific, experiments, math, making a cake, all these things, right? We need to measure them. We need to have a desired outcome and be able to measure them. We need to meet people at a certain time so that we're not all over the place and it's, respectful. So we go, okay, I'm going to meet you at 4:00, that kind of thing, right? We need these measurements in the external things that we do, right? So when people started looking into the music theory and that kind of thing, they've been looking into this for so long, and music theory is proven in a scientific setting. You can look at papers and things like that of what can happen, like what can improve things. So if you are, let's say, learning something, I know that Mozart, for example, has a very special way of bringing out certain things in your brain, like for real, that they've measured. And that's why whatever that exists. So then people who are interested in spirituality, but they have a wound of proof of doing these different things, they think that you have to do this, 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 and this. When really, these kind of things, they will work because you are using them because you want those things. So the way it's one of those things that you'll figure it out soon. So that's why I just want to talk about the backstory of why we think we have to have certain things and the best things. So it's really funny because, for example, when people see repeating numbers, they think that when they look up those people who have written books about repeating numbers, that is the reason. And the reason isn't because of what those people wrote. The reason is because you decided that the meaning behind it is going to be something that you look up on Google. And so, or whatever, or a book. And so your guides and your energies and everything will make sure that what you look up is going to be appropriate, because that's what you've decided the meaning is. But and the reason why even the, repeating numbers happen is because you're getting synchronicities, and synchronicities are basically telling you, like, you're starting to pay attention, welcome, you're here. And it's basically you're going so deep within that it's all going not only without, and you can see it everywhere, it's spilling out of you because you're expanding so big, right? And so you're going to start to see these things. And anyway, so this is where these kind of things come in handy. So someone has written a scale and measurement. Some of it has been in scientific papers, and some of it is spiritual people who got really into it and archived it and stuff like that. So now we're getting to the part that's fun. Now people have built all of these things. Like, they go, okay, you look up, I have an earache, I want to look up, what hertz is going to heal this the I can't remember the frequency, I can't remember which one that is, starts with an S, that which one will heal my ear. And so you deciding that you're going to heal your ear with energy in that hertz of music is what's healing your ear. And that's not the end of healing your ear. You're going to have to do, because energy work is the 3. So first is diagnosing, second is fucking around and finding out. So that's basically what that was. when you look it up, like when you start looking and trying things out. And then the third is your consent. And your consent is not saying, yeah. Your consent is all these different things that come forward from your layers. So, like, let's say you have a trauma keeping you from healing it. Like, maybe that you're carrying something. That will come up. It will come up in some way. Anything. It could be a memory. You need to maybe cry and release things. And when I say release, I don't mean release like you're getting rid of stuff. You never get rid of anything. You transform it. So you're in that phase. Or someone that's like your friend will come and trigger you, and then you have to, like, realize, okay, well, I love this person, but usually they'll pick someone that you love so that you can be like, okay, I love this person. Why am I being triggered by them? It's so weird. And then you actually look at the trigger for what it is. Because if it's someone that you're like, oh, well, they're a mean stranger, then you ignore it, right? Okay. So now getting to yours. So when you're doing this, your intention is to communicate. So for you need to think of whatever you want to communicate. So let's say, for example, you want to speak to Aphrodite. I have workbooks that talk about doing that, and also I can do that in sessions. It also could be one of the things that you get options to do tiny little questions and stuff on. If you go on my Patreon, there's an option on there too. So I can help you with those things, but you can do this. So let's say, for example, you want to talk to Aphrodite, right? What you would do is you would look up, you would do the, like, the different ways of where you put a little bit of yourself and what you want to know, and also what you know about Aphrodite, and you mix that together, and then you start doing some automatic writing. I also have workbooks about automatic writing too. So you start writing those things, and then you play in the you look, on Google, someone who's like, this is Aphrodite, I channeled Aphrodite, or they didn't even say it, maybe, because we're all channeling, right? But they just wrote an ode to Aphrodite or something like that, and you pick that music, right? There's a song I have that is, I would play, that I love. And so I would play that music. But these are all things to enhance, and it's basically, I'm going to do a video soon about this, about our mind field. It's using our imagination, and I'm going to talk about what imagination actually is, because people they just go, oh, that's your imagination, but they don't know what imagination is, and what's similar to imagination. But anyway, so yes, that is the desired frequency, is what matches who you're talking to and the questions that you have to ask about yourself, about you, what you want. And it could be just something that you like even. But you don't have to do that. That's just if you feel very connected and it helps you connect. It always makes things better